Hi friends, it's Linda. I am back. It is December 7th, well almost. It is actually the 6th when I'm recording this, but I have those grandbabies tomorrow, so I wanted to show you, because I'm so excited, my first 7 days of Dephemerember 2022. And I have been very busy working on my ephemera pieces and following the prompts and watching Barbara and Louisa's videos, which have been so much fun and entertaining and inspiring. And I am getting my fairy vibe going here for the 4 fairy journals that I am creating this ephemera for. So I had promised, first of all, that I would show you a completed journal cover. Well, it's almost completed. I don't have all 4 of them completed, but I'm close. You know, with it being the Christmas holidays, oh my goodness, there's so much to do. But this is what the covers are going to look like for the most part. They each have a different fairy, but this flower is still in progress. But it's going to have this little, I believe it's going to have this little fairy charm on the front. And so it's going to look kind of like this. I'm going to take this off so I can show you kind of the inside. It's covered in denim. And then the inside has a really beautiful echo dyed digital. And it's got denim side pockets. So this is the beginnings of the fairy journals. And there will be 4 of them, and I'm going to list them hopefully by the end of December or the very beginning of January. So they're not, I'm calling them my winter fairy journals because I'm making them for the winter, not because they are winter themed. They're actually going to have a very fun, colorful, bright, happy vibe to them. So I'm going to move that out of the way so that we can focus on the prompt list and all the fun things that I've been making. If you've been following Louisa and Barbara's videos, you may be like me and just absolutely blown away by the things that they come up with and the detail and the techniques that they use. And for me, by nature, my art is much more simplistic, and I love watching them, and I learned so much from them, but I was not able to accomplish a lot of those wonderful, inspiring techniques that I saw. But let's start at the beginning with, that being said, I am very happy with the ephemera that I made, and I feel like I'm sort of on a roll. There's something about making every single day that kind of helps you find your flow. So I felt like my things got a little better as I went along. Okay, so on the prompt list, day 1, December 1st, was fluff and a mason jar. So what I created are these 4, I'm probably going to use them as a tuck spot. And this is actually a digital that is in one of Louisa's, one of her digitals. And I believe it's Lavender. It's a Lavender Junk Journal Kit. But I will credit it in the description box. So what I did was I just took her digital, printed it out to size. I added some fairies. Well, I stained it with coffee. I added these little fairies with rubber stamps, so there's a few little fairies. I don't know if you can tell if the light is adequate for you to see this, but I added some sparkle to the fairies. It looks like there's sparkle coming up out of their hands that's going to the center of the flowers, and some on their wings. And then I took a silver pen and added some silver highlights to the lid. And then the fluff element is just a little feather that I added. I put some thin jute around the, not on the back side, just on the top, and tied a bow and tucked a little feather in it. So everything I did, I made 4 of. So that made it a little more time consuming, but I'm so excited because I'm going to have 25 different pieces of ephemera for each of the journals at the end of this. So, okay, so the second day were splatters and a playing card. So I basically took some playing cards and roughed them up. They were very, very colorful. I don't know that you can really I don't know that you can really see, but I covered the playing card with some sewing pattern paper and added some splatters and one of my favorite fairy images, which is a rubber stamp from Red Lead Paperworks. And this Finders Keepers sentiment is also a Red Lead Paperworks sentiment stamp. So added a little sparkle to her wings and a little butterfly. So I, excuse me, took a little cue from Barbara and I added some gold around the diameter of the card. I don't know if you can see that very well, but the way I did it is I just have this bottle of Gleam's acrylic paint that's metallic, 14 karat gold is the color, and I just applied it with a paintbrush to the edges and let it dry. And then I attached this little wooden butterfly cutout and gave her a little bit of funky antenna gold frou-frou at the top there. Okay, so each one is a little bit of a different color, but you can see kind of the color scheme of the journals that are kind of taking place. It's a lot of blues and purples and pinks and greens that are of a kind of a vibrant nature, but with a vintage touch too. So this was a really brightly colored deck of cards that came from the dollar store. And I just sanded them down and, yeah. So that was my finished product for day 2. Day 3 was the bright color and the journaling card. And these are probably my favorite from the week and probably the most true to what my style is. So what I did was I just took a little piece of cardstock and I backed it with some coffee dyed lined paper to make it into a journal card. I added some fabrics, some bright colored fabrics. This is actually Kathy Holden fabric. You might recognize it. And a little bit of a really brightly colored embroidery fabric with a touch of lace behind it. Can you see that? And I sewed that on, and actually before I even did that, I did some background rubber stamping and added some postage stamps to give it a postcard kind of look. So they're all just a tiny bit different depending on the section of fabric, the choice of stamp, the choice of the little embroidery, but yet they all are pretty much identically made. But they each have a little bit of a different look. But these, I think, are my favorite. I really, really, really am happy with the way these turned out. So I'll probably make this again. Okay, and then on day 4 was recycled art and a coin envelope. And initially, I have these coin envelopes that I had found an entire box of at an estate sale, and I was just going to use them. But then, for the recycled art part, I had done an art project where I made, I pulled some acrylic paint with a brayer, pulled down dots of different colors, and when the brayer got to the bottom, I had all this beautiful color in puddles at the bottom of my work area. So I just took that and I put it right on like mopped up paper, mopped up rubber tags with that pretty paint. So this, I decided to actually make a coin envelope from that 4 coin envelopes out of one of the sheets of paper. So what I did was, I was going to make just your standard coin envelope and glue it, but then I decided not to glue it and to make a little something different out of it. So I sewed a little stack of coffee dyed paper, left it open, and attached a magnet and put a pretty little paper flower on there. So each one again is a little bit different, just depending on the flower, the placement, the layout, the design of the paint on the paper. And this one. And this one. So that was fun. I really enjoyed kind of creating my own take on the coin envelope and using this paper from an old piece of art that was actually just mop-up. And the colors are perfect for the journal. I was so excited about that too. So I have these. So this is day 4. Day 5 was a number or a sentiment on a ticket. And what's so interesting is I created these tickets last year in Dephemerember when we made tickets. And I left them, they were completely blank and they were white. So what I did was I pulled out the blank tickets, I coffee dyed them, just dunked them in the coffee, and I used a fairy sticker and some splatters and some sentiment stamps. Create joy and fairy songs. So nothing's, special. I didn't use any wonderful techniques or original artwork or, anything fabulous, but they're nice little pieces of ephemera that will be great to tuck in a pocket or somewhere in the journal. And they're completely blank on the back, so you actually could journal on them or, tear them apart and glue them down as decor in the journal or whatever. Okay, so that is day 5. Day 6 were feathers on a bingo card. So I went with my Timmy people, as Gail would call them, my paper dolls, and found some that I thought would make good fairies. And I gave them some of the Tim Holtz acetate butterfly wings for their wings. And I put a feather coming from their hat or coming from her bow. And this little fella, I put it behind his, just kind of behind his head, but also on his wings. And I kind of like that look, actually. I kind of wish I had done that on all of them, but they were glued down. But cute. And then they needed something to stand on, so I just used a Tracy label. And here, the sprinkle fairy dust wherever you go. And think of the happiest things. It's the same as having wings. These are from one of Barbara's fairy sentiments digitals. So these will be nice journal cards. I kind of thought she looked like a fairy godmother. So she's kind of my favorite, I think, of the 4. So this was day 6. And then day 7 was kind of interesting. That was a handwritten memory and a loaded tag. So what I did was I made 3 tags. This one I dolled up with some handmade paper. And actually, my sister just gave me this piece of handmade paper. She made it. It was something I think she applied paint to and crumpled up and then applied some of this copper and purple over the top, and it's just beautiful. She got a beautiful effect. And she was like, I don't think I'm ever going to use this piece of paper. Here, you use it. And I put it immediately right into Dephemerember. That's just how things work, isn't it? So I just created a pocket and a tab. And this, okay, so this is actually tomorrow's project for December 7th. And I have not used one of their animals in any of these creations since they're kind of fairy journals. And I love the animals and I love the freebie, but I just didn't use any of them. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed because we don't know yet what the animal's going to be. But I have squirrel charms and I have owl charms. So if by chance the junk journal gods are in my favor, if tomorrow's December 7th's animal is a squirrel or an owl, we're in business. Otherwise, I'll just hang a different type of charm from this bulb pin. So inside there are 2 tags. This is the handwritten memory. I mean, did I take that literally or what? I wrote the word memory and put it on some coffee dyed loose leaf so you could write a memory on here and tuck it into the pocket. And this is just a fun decorative journal card using this sweet fairy image, a little bit of a handmade sewn ruffle, and some mushroom rubber stamps. And she just tucks right into the pocket. So that is, I made 4. They are all very similar. Different little bit of ruffle, but otherwise the same. And these are the final 2. Okay, so these are my first 7 days of Dephemerember. My loaded pocket, my bingo card and a feather, my tickets with a sentiment, my coin envelopes with recycled art, my brightly colored journaling cards, and my, what do you call those? Splatters on a playing card, and my feather on, or fluff on a mason jar. So I never use feathers, and I used feathers in 2 days worth. So that's kind of another neat thing about this is that I'm really thinking out of the box with the usual ephemera that I create for my journals, and I'm just loving that. I'm having a blast. I am still every day when I do my crafting, I'm having a snack along with them. So I am tomorrow will be day 7. I'll eat my day 7 chocolate. So I've been doing that aspect of it. And I am starting to look forward to what I need to collect for the following week. So what I will do is I will be back on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will be back on the 14th with my next 7 days worth of beautiful ephemera. Thank you to Barbara and Louisa for the wonderful daily videos. I get so attached to them. I will wholeheartedly miss them at the end of this. I did that last year. I think I was grieving a little bit when it ended because I missed their daily videos. But I will be back on the 14th, and my goal is to have all 4 of these journal covers finished with the signatures in them, because I'm also, when I finish getting the covers together, I'm going to put the signatures in there as well. So hopefully I'll have that to show you. I am trying very hard to grow my channel, and my goal is to try to reach 1,000 subscribers this month with my Dephemerember videos. So if you would be so kind as to subscribe if you like what you see. Like the video, leave me a comment. When I reach 1,000 subscribers, I am going to have a giveaway. So I'm really hoping and thinking it would be so fun to be able to announce that first thing in the new year or even at the end of the month. It's kind of a lofty goal, but you gotta start somewhere, right? So anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch. Have fun with your own creations this month. Enjoy the holidays. Don't get too stressed during these weeks of December. And thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.